Elon Musk says his son is dead, killed by woke mind virus. Rob, you have that clip. If you can play this clip on what he says about this. This is him, I believe, with Jordan Peterson on Daily Wire. Go ahead, Rob.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil. And I agree with you that the people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
Patrick Bet-David has been doing a great job recently with destroying the woke side of things, but not just doing that. Everybody can do that. Everybody does that. But Patrick Bet-David is also calling out people who are on the right, who are on, his side, quote unquote, because a lot of people on that side are also, contributing to the problem. I don't know why I just said contributing like that, but contributing to the problem, and most people are scared to call that out because bad things happen to people who call that stuff out, like Candace Owens. Whenever she called out bad things that people on quote unquote her side are doing, she got fired, and they're writing smear articles on her, being paid for by Ben Shapiro, her former employer. Anyway, let's get into this clip here of Patrick Bet-David, who's talking about Elon Musk waging war against the woke because Elon Musk said that his son is basically dead because of it, because Elon Musk disowned his son because of his gender transition. And this is Patrick Bet-David talking about Elon Musk's vow to destroy the woke mind virus, and Patrick Bet-David himself absolutely nuking the woke side of things. Let's check this out.
Elon Musk says his son is dead, killed by woke mind virus. Rob, you have that clip. If you can play this clip on what he says about this. This is him, I believe, with Jordan Peterson on Daily Wire. Go ahead, Rob.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that the people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
And I know a lot of you, or a lot of the argument against this would be, oh, this is just one instance. This doesn't happen very often, but. I mean, I've heard of these stories endless times now. Like, it's getting really scary out there for me, who I don't have any kids. I'm 25, so it's kind of getting to that point where, like, you start thinking about kids a little bit. It's absolutely terrifying. Not like it used to be terrifying because, like, you could possibly have a daughter that's like, a stripper or something. You could have a son that is, a thief and go to jail. Now it's like terrifying because of those things still. But now it's terrifying because you could have a son that wants to transition. You can have a daughter that wants to transition. You can have all these things infecting the minds of your kids, and you have really no control over it because you're not like these teachers are able to just infect your kids' brains without ever telling you, without ever disclosing to you what it is that they're telling these kids. And it's absolutely insane. If I have kids, I'm 100% homeschooling them. But even then, it's like they're still going to have access to social media. They're still going to be seeing these things. They're still going to be inundated and brainwashed by these things, or at least, I'll do my best to stop it from happening. But it is terrifying. I've heard so many horror stories now. Somebody as big as Elon Musk goes through this. It's just scary. It's terrifying.
So I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead. Wow. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
What an enemy.
And we're making some progress.
Okay, I will just say this might be one of the most awkward interviews of all time, but I don't think it's Jordan Peterson's fault. I think Elon Musk is just an awkward guy, and also this is a really emotional topic. And I think, like, I'm not making fun of him at all. I just genuinely think this. Elon Musk is on the spectrum somewhere, so he probably doesn't know how to deal with the emotions very well. This is awkward, but also at the same time, it's good to see. I know that might sound bad, but you know, I think that was Vinny in the background, or Patrick Bet-David maybe, saying, what an enemy. And it is true, because nobody has resources like Elon Musk does. You know, he's one of the richest people in the world. If you know, even if you throw in like the Russian oligarchs and everything, he's still up there. He's one of the richest people in the world, and he has infinite resources, basically. So if his vow is to destroy the woke mind virus because it killed his son, that is a scary enemy for them to have. You know, and it's good for us, even though it's horrible that he lost his son like that. It's good for us because it's a powerful ally for sure.
Dude,
I
Join the club.
love him.
yeah.
Never cross the line with a father's child,
Dude,
man. Just don't do it.
Pat, does that
Especially one who's a true believer. Never do it. Never do it. You're going to get a side you've not seen before. Good for him. And by the way, a lot of people are in his camp right now. The difference is a lot of people, how many kids who are transgender? Here's a question for you. You ready for this? How many kids who are trans became trans because their parents supported it and encouraged it? For example, what is the Machine Gun Kelly's girl's name? Something Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. She's got 3 kids. They're all trans.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
She dresses them as girls.
Can you pull this up? Megan Fox.
All three?
Can you find out all 3 kids? All 3 kids.
With Brian Austin Green?
Hang on a second. Megan, let them be who they are. I think all 3 kids
Dressed as
of
boys.
Megan Fox are gay or something
All the
like
boys
that.
dress as
All 3 Megan Fox. So can you verify this? You know,
she was making them dress as
She has
boys.
kids with the guy from 90210.
If I'm
yeah?
not mistaken, all 3 are. So then
Brian
you go
Austin
to
Green.
Charlize Theron adopted a son who's also transgender. Megan Fox has 3 sons who are all transgender or non-binary. Okay, who are all transgender or non-binary. Now, this is the reports that you read about it. I don't know the exact details about it, but how many kids are transgender because their parents supported or encouraged it? What do you think, Tom? You know what the question is, right?
Yep.
Because, like, for example, you think Magic Johnson is happy that his son is, you know, who he is? At the beginning. Not today. At this point, he just wants to love his son. But at the beginning, when his son dresses, that's his son, by the way.
God, that is so
That could have been a point guard for the Lakers. No. You guys are laughing like Bronny James. That could have been like the OG Bronny James. But it ended up being...
That's getting crossed up by a cross-dresser.
Dwayne Wade's son is the same way, you know, and people always like Bronny James streams sometimes, and I'll see the clips of people asking, his name's Zaire, I think, Dwayne Wade's son, or technically daughter, I guess now, but Zaire, like he'll be like, they'll ask him questions about Zaire, and Bronny gets all like, he gets all awkward about it because for obvious reasons. And it's so sad, dude. It's so sad. Like if these things can happen to people like Magic Johnson and Dwayne Wade, who is he's kind of cucked by his wife anyway. So it's not super shocking that would happen to Dwayne Wade. But like I was saying, if these things can happen to people like Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson and Elon Musk, it's bound to happen to a lot of normal people a lot more often than it is to them. So it's just it's so scary to have kids now. Maybe I'm over the top. Let me know in the comments if I'm over the top scared about this stuff, but it is very scary for me to have kids for sure.
Right. So
Broke your ankle.
but by the way, Dwayne Wade. Go to Dwayne Wade.
Oh, God.
Right.
I didn't pre-watch this, by the way.
Anyway.
I'm going to go more than 90%. And
Dwayne Wade. Go to Dwayne OG Bronny James. but it ended up being.
That's getting crossed up by a cross-dresser.
Right. So
Broke your ankle.
But by the way, Dwayne Wade. Go to Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
By the way, you guys know I don't pre-watch these. I didn't know he was going to bring up Dwayne Wade, but he does bring him up right here.
God.
Right? Same exact thing with Dwayne Wade. What percentage of kids are trans because their parents encouraged and supported it?
Could it be 50?
I'm going to go more than 90%, and I'm going to go to something that Bill Maher said. And Bill Maher said when he goes back, this goes back about a year, and he had a very eloquent monologue that he did, was providing statistics on the percent of each generation. And his comment is, I can't, and I'm paraphrasing for him, but he said, I go to parties with...
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Angelinos, and it's fashionable to talk about which of your kids is gay or trans. It's fashionable. And he said, why is it that more in LA are that way than in, he picked some Midwest city, Milwaukee? Could it be that the power of suggestion is pretty powerful and that these things with kids are truly just phases? And I think he hit the nail on the head. And here's a guy talking about celebrities and talking about firsthand what he saw. And that passes my...
Okay.
It passes my test, because I'm like, here's a guy that's in the middle of Los Angeles directly talking about how celebrities and people out there.
So your answer is I got it. So your answer is 90%.
And I'm 90%.
You're doing the Tom. You're doing an Adam. You're giving a 3-minute answer to yes or no.
No,
okay, 90%.
I didn't go that long, but I just said I'm at 90%.
I think you're allowing Adam to influence you.
That is rich coming from Patrick Bet David. I'm not going to lie. Every time this guy gets asked a question, he goes on a 10-minute monologue and all these stories and everything, which I don't mind. You know, I do mind, actually. It takes a lot of time in these YouTube videos, but he does explain the things very well. It's just rich coming from him. I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, they're completely correct. Like, Tom is completely correct. Patrick Bet David is completely correct. This is getting out of hand, and it definitely is somewhat of a status symbol, especially in Hollywood, which obviously culture trickles down into the rest of the world. So if it's a status symbol in Hollywood, it's going to be a status symbol other places as well, you know? So it's kind of like back in the day, you used to get together with your adult friends and talk about what, you know, major your kid is taking in college, what job your kid just got. Now you talk about their gender and sexual preferences and stuff. It's so weird, man. It's so weird, and it has to be by design. Like, there's no way that this happens naturally. Like, humans, this isn't happening naturally. Somebody is putting this into our brain. Like, somebody is making the culture do this 100%.
90%.
I didn't go that long, but I just said I'm at 90%.
I think you're allowing Adam to influence you, and you need to be your own man. Don't let him do it to you.
Got the Adam vibe.
We might have to cut it off, Tom.
That's right. So here's my question for you. Elon is part of the 10% camp of parents who don't want that to become a reality. How painful must it be to lose a child to the community that converted it? Now, it could be many different reasons. Could be the mother, you know, one of the two parents that's doing that. Did you guys hear about what happened with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's daughter?
She doesn't want her last name, right?
She doesn't want his last name.
Oh, man.
She's changing her last name of her dad's last name, Pitt. And apparently behind closed doors, Brad Pitt didn't take it too well. That Angelina persuaded Brad Pitt and her daughter to not accept her own last name. And you know who Angelina Jolie's father is?
Don't tell me. He hangs out with
Voight.
John Voight. I saw him at that.
She also didn't take the dad's last name.
Wow.
So think
She wants to be a girl boss queen, obviously. That is also another thing that is, I think, planted in culture. You know, this super independent woman. It's nonsense. You know, it's put into us to kind of break up the family unit. You know. I think that's pretty obvious. Maybe I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Patrick Bet David had to say about Elon Musk and his son's transition and how that turned him into a villain for the woke mind virus, and he's vowing to destroy the woke mind virus. I haven't been, I've been critical of Elon Musk a lot, but I can't lie and say that that's not a great ally to have, because he does have unlimited resources, and it is a virus that needs to be killed. It needs to be destroyed. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Patrick Bet David and Elon Musk situation.